Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So some good news this week is that our inventory has gone up, but we are still seeing crazy amounts of sales and some really high numbers, especially over our million plus. So let's take a look at what happened last week. So in Georgetown last week, we had 23 properties sell, which is down from our previous week of 30, but when we got into this market in the summer, we were seeing like a 30 week and then a 23 and then a 32 week and then a 23. So I think we're getting back to that because of the way things are listing and holding off. So it'll be interesting to watch, but 23 is still an overall good number. Of those 23, 20 properties sold over asking. And like I just said, over the million plus, like you're listing at 1.1, you're getting like 1.4. Like the numbers are crazy. Some people are fetching for a higher price, and so they're listing a bit higher, and those aren't going crazy. But some of them, like honestly, it still surprises me how crazy it is out there. So now looking at new listings last week, we had 26 new listings. So our inventory is up this week. Our new listings outpaced our sales, which is great news. We need to see more weeks like this to sort of calm what's happening. In Acton, we had 9 properties sell, which is a huge number. Last week, I said I thought we'd have a huge number this week because there was only 2 and a lot of them had offer nights. So 9 sales in Acton is quite a bit. 7 of them sold over asking, and even Acton is getting like some of them 200,000 over asking. So lots happening in Acton as well. There were 7 new listings there, so our inventory will be down a bit, but still good that we're seeing some stuff come up because we had a few weeks where nothing was coming up. In Glen Williams this week, there was no sales and no new listings. Limehouse saw 1 sale and 1 new listing. And the rural market, which is interesting and something we've been watching, had 0 sales, which is surprising, but also not surprising because our million plus price point in Georgetown has seen a lot of inventory come up the last few weeks. And so the people have some options in town, so rural may slow down a bit. So other interesting news in rural is that we had 8 new listings. So last week our inventory was sitting pretty low at 13 active listings, and so we had 8 new properties. That is a lot for the rural market. So really interesting that the rural clients are seeing, okay, our houses are selling and they're getting them on the market. So again, it's still just good news to see any new inventory hitting the market here. So now looking at active inventory. Inventory is up significantly this week from 58 to 66 active listings, which is good news. We do have a couple of new builds that I filter out, but 66 is our active resale market. Only 1 in the sold conditional status. Again, not a lot of things are getting conditions right now, so we just have 1 sitting with a condition. In Georgetown, we are up this week from 30 to 33 active listings. So not a huge jump, but our price points definitely saw some shifts this week. Under 700,000 saw a big drop down to 1 active listing. So all of our condo stuff is gone and we are just sitting at 1 thing available under 700,000. It feels like that price point is super hard to get something in Georgetown anymore. 700,000 to 800,000 is up significantly to 8 active listings. This price point sells every week, so if we don't see new stuff, it goes down, but 8 active listings in that price point is really good news. Most of the stuff listing under 800,000 is fetching between 850 and $1 million, so it will be interesting to see what happens with those. The 800 to $1 million also, we were down to 2 active listings last week. This week we have 7 active listings, which is a good number for there. That price point is wild. Like that's another one that's getting like 1.2. So it really just depends. A lot of people are starting to raise their listing prices. So I do think we're gonna see a bit of a cool off in terms of like hundreds of thousands over asking. But now we're getting into the territory. A lot of people are under listing and the strategy is working right now to get as many showings and as many offers as possible. And we're still seeing some huge numbers. So our million plus price point is down slightly this week, but still up from where we were a few weeks ago. So we're sitting at 17 active listings there, which is a good number. There's finally some choices for people in that price point. So we are going to have to watch as that price point sort of continues to have inventory, if that still impacts our rural market. So in Acton this week, we have 9 active listings. 7 of them are under $1 million. So good news, because that is the busy price point in Acton. And so there's stuff available under $1 million. Glen Williams is sitting at 1 active listing. It is the listing that is on the market that's sold conditional. So not technically, it has an escape clause, so you could offer on it, but really not a lot available in the Glen. Limehouse has 4 active listings, which is a high number for there, but you need a lot of money to be moving to Limehouse right now. And the rural market is up significantly to 19 active listings this week. We saw a few come off the market, and then we had 8 new listings. So at 19 listings, it's still down from what we're used to, but that's a really nice jump for the rural buyers, and you definitely have some options. But again, with rural, your price tag is usually a lot higher. It starts at 1.35 right now, and you're getting a lot more land and usually a lot more house. So prices are gonna naturally be higher. So overall, I guess some good news. We have, for the last few weeks, seen inventory increasing. We still have a ton of buyer demand to satisfy, so I'm not surprised to not see inventory skyrocketing, because every week we are seeing a ton of sales. But overall, really good news with the amount of inventory we have coming up. And if we can have a few more weeks of our listings beating our sales, like, we're gonna feel some relief. So that will naturally start to impact how many offers properties are getting, and then that will impact the prices we're seeing. So I still don't think we are on track for any kind of major downward spiral here, but some relief. I had a client that's been looking since November, and we finally secured a property last week. So everyone's just feeling like there's a little less chaos, maybe 2 to 8 offers, not 40. So all of this is good news. We're going to continue to watch this closely. Some glimmers of hope in the numbers that we're seeing. Not huge ones, but there's a little tiny glimmer. I will be back next Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone.